The government shutdown is nearly over. Ladies and gentlemen, the Democrat Party has totally caved, and boy, oh boy, it's got some people kind of mad.
This was a choice by Republicans to cut SNAP benefits. This was a choice by Republicans to cut ACA subsidies. This was a choice by the Republicans to gut the federal government and federal employment. Democrats had nothing to do with it. They just caved and surrendered. I think Chuck Schumer, his days are over.
We have a shutdown, as you probably know, because the Democrats have gone, they're crazy. They're crazy, but they don't care if they hurt the country. But we've approved it 14 times. We've approved a opening up 14 times, and they keep rejecting it. And I guess maybe they will again. Let's see what happens. They want to have...
Well, that was on, Friday. And then today, you saw what just happened moments ago on that lovely little show called The View. The Democrats are caving here. It's the right thing to do. I mean, frankly, I don't think you had a choice. I think they were waiting until the election was over because they didn't want to look like they were somehow beholden to anyone. They were going to hold out for this utopian hope, even though they didn't have a prayer of getting anything done. And so today we see a reversal.
We've got plenty more on the other side. We will talk much more about this. Again, you're looking live at the Senate floor as the Democratic filibuster has been broken. We have so far reached 60. We're waiting for the official count. But right now, 60 votes that would unlock moving forward with this plan to reopen the government on the Senate side. A quick break. More on the other side.
All right. So this is actually very, very good news. The Democrats won't say that, but I would think that you want to actually get things up and running. It is not an advantageous position for either party, legitimately speaking, to be in. And yet this is what they're doing over on The View. I want to share with you Whoopi Goldberg effectively siding with Bernie Sanders and AOC and Mamdami if he has anything to say about it. The communist faction. Watch.
My. You all treat us like you've met us before. So let us tell you what's been going on. The biggest sticking point in the longest U.S. government shutdown has been Democrats demanding that Republicans negotiate to extend health care subsidies that are about to expire. But last night, 8 Senate Democrats threw in the towel by siding with the GOP to advance a vote that could lead to the government reopening. And they tried to explain themselves to their unhappy colleagues. Take a look.
I understand that not all of my Democratic colleagues are satisfied with this agreement. But waiting another week or another month wouldn't deliver a better outcome.
This agreement tonight, bad.
Oops, let's go back.
Satisfied with this agreement. But waiting another week or another month wouldn't deliver a better outcome.
This agreement tonight,
Angus,
is a win for the American people. There was zero chance of dealing with the ACA issue as long as the shutdown continued. Now, I don't know, 50-50?
50-50.
But there's a lot better chance now than there was this morning.
This was a very, very bad vote. And what the election showed is that the American people want us to stand up to Trumpism, to his war against working class people, to his authoritarianism. That is what the American people wanted. But tonight, that is not what happened.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did you see everybody applauding there? You know why that is? Because somebody's holding up a sign saying applause now, cheer now, right? Because, this show is heavily biased, heavily biased. FCC is looking into that, by the way. More on that coming up. But I would say that there's now some faction of the Democrat Party that's saying, wait, why is this happening? Why are you guys giving in? Why would you got to stand up to Trumpism, as Bernie says? But I'm sorry, in standing up to Trumpism, as you so want to do, what are you doing? You're actually cutting, 46 million people off of SNAP benefits? I don't think that that's really a way to go, frankly. But, don't argue with Whoopi, who, by the way, can't seem to talk her way out of a paper bag. I mean, the way this woman goes on and on and on. I was looking at this show from this morning, and I was trying to clip it. And I'm like, she makes no sense. She's practically impossible to follow. So I tried to find a little snippet where there's some inkling of productivity going on in the brain cells, but it's not easy. Here she is complaining about somehow these are benefits that people are entitled to in her incoherent, ladies and gentlemen, rant.
I have no faith that they're going to negotiate and come back to the table. And I'm glad that folks, maybe, because again, we have seen, you say.
Okay, we got point number one. You have no faith. The guy from Maine, the senator from Maine is saying, well, now we've got a 50-50 shot. And she's like, well, how many faith? Okay, so we've got that. And now she's like circling around as she does.
This is going to happen, and then it doesn't happen.
Okay.
So surprise me and show me that this is really, that people are going to get their money, that people are going to get the money that they are entitled to. It's not a gift.
Right.
They're entitled to this money during when there's a shutdown. You're entitled to that money.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of, sort of, really not entitled to any money. Okay. Like that's kind of the whole point. Like these entitlements, when the government is shut down, they go away. And so when they go away, yeah, someone's going to get blamed. And right now the Democrats are being blamed. It's Sonny. I know it's very hard for you to understand, but they were the ones holding this up. So you can't do what you're trying to do. But hey, who am I to stop you? Because I look at this and say, good, get your popcorn ready. You got a Democrat Party that is fractured, that is messy, and that is giving up. Watch.
Jeffries
look like losers if they're just attacking each other in this. For some reason, Marjorie Taylor Greene was better at messaging the stakes of this shutdown, it feels like, than a lot of Democrats were. You have to give people the benefits they are entitled to under SNAP. You have to address the underlying issues of the crisis of healthcare in this country, but get government back working. No one can get anywhere. Flights aren't flying. The holidays are coming.
Yeah.
This is a welcome decision in my mind.
Okay.
Look.
That's like the one person that makes any sense. She's a former conservative, kind of a never-Trumper, but nonetheless at least has some conservative roots in her. Sunny Houston, however, I don't really know what to say about this woman. Other than, I guess she was a lawyer at one point, so she tries to hold that up as some form of credibility, but she has at least lost it in my book, and apparently now she's going after the big head honcho, Schumer himself.
Let's be clear. The Republicans run the House. The Republicans run the Senate. The Republicans run the White House. The Republicans run the Supreme Court, as far as I'm concerned. This was a choice by Republicans to cut SNAP benefits. This was a choice by Republicans to cut ACA subsidies. This was a choice by the Republicans to gut the federal government and federal employment. Democrats had nothing to do with it. I want an opposition party. I think the Democrats caved. I think the Democrats let down the American people. And like you, Whoopi, I have absolutely no faith that the Republican Party will come to the negotiating table in good faith. You do something like this, shame on you the first time. You do it twice, 3 times, 4 times, shame on me. Shame on the Democrats for even believing that the Republicans will, even vote on it. There's no
she's losing her way too.
Guarantee in this New Deal that there's going to be a vote. There's no even commitment to have a vote. So the bottom line is the Democrats went into this after a blue wave out of the American people saying, we do want the opposition. We the working people want the Democratic Party to fight for them. And now they just caved and surrendered. I think Chuck Schumer, his days are over. If he cannot keep his caucus together, he needs to go. He needs to be replaced.
Do you hear, Chuck? Oh boy. I mean, I don't know. Can you pull a Chuck Schumer like you did on Tucker Carlson on her on The View? Is this going to walk her off the ramp somehow? Can you get her fired? I think the FCC is already working fairly hard on getting rid of the whole show altogether. But now you see what I'm saying? They're really splintered now. This is not a good look. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? As Donald Trump has said, they went with a communist in New York. They went with a communist. And now the communists are out there saying, hey, we wanted this shutdown to keep on going, whereas the pragmatic senator, Jeanne Shaheen from New Hampshire, and then you got Maine, and by the way, 6 other senators are saying, hey, no, this doesn't really work because we don't want to cut this many people off from their benefits. You don't want people to lose their SNAP benefits. I mean, the Republican Party has said they were trying to find ways to help them out. They don't want people losing their military pay. Remember how it turned out? Donald Trump found someone with deep pockets that was going to help contribute to the military pay. He's been trying to find some workarounds. But the Democrats have made it clear they want that $1.5 trillion. And he's like, I'm not giving the $1.5 trillion. It's just not happening. You're not going to get the $1.5 trillion because that means it's going to go all out to the states so that they can spend it however they like. And in many states, that means they're spending it on illegals that Joe Biden brought into the country. So no, he said that one's not happening. And by the way, it was set to expire anyway. You guys put it in as an emergency provision back in 2020. It was set to expire. You knew the drill. And now that day's here. Okay, and he's in charge. He's in the seat. Meanwhile, even over on NBC, it seems like they're kind of losing it too. They're playing this whole, hey, Democrats, what are you doing here? On NBC, the news anchor on the weekend show started putting it to none other than Hakeem Jeffries. This is a rare thing, guys, when the media is actually mad at the Democrats. But, you know, they're kind of in with the socialists and the communists instead now. Here, I want you to take a look.
Mr. Jeffries, Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer did make a new offer, effectively saying, let's extend Obamacare subsidies for 1 year in exchange for reopening the government for 1 year. You have said that you would support that proposal, but just last month you said this. Take a look.
A 1 year extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits is not acceptable. It's a non-starter. It's a non-starter.
So, Leader Jeffries, what changed?
Well, the proposal that I was making reference to in October was something that was floated out there by a handful of rank-and-file House Republicans, and that was immediately rejected by House Republican leadership because they have no interest in driving down the high cost of living for everyday Americans. The Schumer proposal, of course, was offered in good faith.
Okay, so at least he's like trying to have to do some explaining. But the reality of where we are right now is that increasingly it looks like this shutdown is going to end. And it's because Democrats now are coming on board and saying like enough is enough. It's just getting a little bit crazy. In the meantime, what did I say to you? That probably we would be looking at a shutdown that ended relatively soon, in part just because of the practicalities of all of this, right? The practicalities being, you know, this is getting kind of hard to do, shall we say, and it's causing now internal chaos within the Democrat Party. It's certainly causing some concern as, you know, flights are supposed to be taking off. Let me show you this. This just broke moments ago. The Wall Street Journal carrying the story. Donald Trump is now threatening to dock the pay of absent air traffic controllers. Gosh, it feels like the 80s all over again, right? Wasn't this what Reagan did? Trump threatening, as I said just moments ago, to dock the pay of absent air traffic controllers. Simultaneously, we're talking carrot and stick. He's going to recommend a $10,000 bonus for air traffic controllers who remained on the job during the government shutdown. So if you tried to skedaddle out of there, he knows who's loyal and who's not. So he is now at this point in time, again, I want to go to the Wall Street Journal first reporting this here just moments ago. President Trump threatening to dock the pay of air traffic controllers who do not return to work amid a government shutdown. The FAA ordered traffic reductions at 40 major airports. Don't forget, just on Friday last week, we had 700 flights that day that were canceled. Nearly 1,700 scheduled flights into, out of, or around the U.S. were canceled, and over 3,600 flights were delayed as of Monday morning. So this is a backup, right, that can be quite problematic. Let's face it, not just for travel, but for the economy as well, because you've got things that need to be shipped all over the place. We're going into the holiday season, and Donald Trump's like, okay, enough. You guys want to play this game? I can play it too. Again, what we'll have to deal with, and of course, is the question of whether or not this is all quote unquote legal. But like I said, he's taking the ball and he's running to the end zone. I'll share with you what he put out on social media. Quote, all air traffic controllers must get back to work now. Now in capital letters with, I was going to say that's 3. Is it 4 exclamation points? I think just 3. But we get the point. Anyone who doesn't will be substantially, quote, docked He said that he would recommend air traffic controllers who didn't take time off during the shutdown receive that $10,000 per person bonus. This is a big deal. So again, very reminiscent, if you would, of what we saw back in the 80s. This is incredible. You saw those numbers on the screen. 3,600 flights delayed as of Monday morning. 25,730 scheduled flights have been canceled. That's about 6.3% of Monday's flights overall, according to a report in the journal. So more than 1,900 scheduled flights into, out of, or around the U.S. have now been canceled. That's updated from 1,700. So we got a situation on our hands, all right? This is all the more reason why you want to make sure that the government is back up and running, albeit in some form or another. I don't think it's really ideal to have the shutdown, although, you know, from the sidelines we can look and watch and see and say, hey, it's amazing what we can do without those guys when push comes to shove.